Have you ever found yourself asking the question, who am I, really beyond the surface, beyond what society expects of you, beyond the roles you play, what is your true essence? This is one of the most profound questions you can ask yourself, and it's something Alan Watts, one of the most influential philosophers of the 20th century, explored deeply in his teachings. His wisdom goes beyond just intellectual insight. It's an invitation to each of us to embark on a journey of self-discovery that strips away the illusions we've been taught to accept as truth. In today's video, we're diving deep into how you can uncover the person you've always been beneath the surface and how to live authentically in a world that often pressures us to be something we're not. Stick with us until the end, because this exploration into self-discovery can radically transform how you view yourself and the world. By watching this, you'll gain insights that can help you break free from the limitations placed on you and embrace the freedom that comes with knowing who you truly are. And before we start, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more life-changing content like this. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments as you reflect on your own journey. From the moment we are born, we are surrounded by expectations. Expectations from our families, our communities, society, and even ourselves. We are told who we are supposed to be, how we should act, and what we should achieve. But beneath all these layers, there's a deeper truth about who we are. Alan Watts challenges us to break free from these external definitions and recognize that much of our suffering comes from clinging to identities that aren't truly ours. He believed that the key to living a fulfilled life lies in discovering our true self, the self that exists beyond societal labels. Think about the roles you play in your life. You might be a parent, a student, a professional, or a friend. You've likely spent years perfecting these roles, gaining acceptance and validation from others. But how much of your identity has been shaped by what others expect of you? And how much of it is a reflection of who you truly are? Watts teaches us that many of the roles we adopt are just that, roles. They are masks we wear to fit into the social game, but they are not our true essence. The journey of self-discovery begins when we start to peel away these layers and ask ourselves what remains when I let go of the roles I've been playing. Imagine for a moment, stepping back from all the labels that have been assigned to you. What if you stopped identifying yourself solely by your job title, your achievements, or even the opinions others hold about you? What if you began to see these things for what they are, temporary constructs that have little to do with your deeper self? Alan Watts encourages us to begin this process of self-inquiry by recognizing that our true identity is not tied to the external world. It's not about what you do or what others think of you. Instead, your true self is something far more expansive, something that exists beyond the limitations of labels and definitions. This is a radical concept for many of us because we've been conditioned to believe that our worth is tied to what we achieve, how successful we are, or how well we conform to societal standards. But Watts invites us to see that these are illusions. The pressure to conform often leads us to disconnect from our true self, and as a result, we may feel lost, unfulfilled, or like we're living someone else's life. So how do you begin to break free from these patterns? How do you start to rediscover who you are beneath all the external expectations? Alan Watts suggests that self-discovery is not about becoming someone new, but returning to who you've always been. It's about unlearning the conditioning that has kept you trapped in a limited sense of self and reconnecting with the natural, authentic version of you. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a gradual process of shedding the masks, questioning the beliefs you've been taught, and embracing the freedom that comes with knowing that you are not defined by your roles, achievements, or failures. Watts also emphasizes that we need to cultivate self-awareness. Take the time to observe your thoughts, your reactions, and your behaviors. Are these truly your own, or are they conditioned responses to what society expects of you? The more you practice mindfulness and self-reflection, the more you'll start to see through the illusions that have been imposed on you. This is where true freedom lies, not in changing who you are, but in realizing that you are already complete. By stepping back and seeing the bigger picture, you begin to understand that the roles you play are just a small part of who you are. They don't define your essence. This understanding can liberate you from the need to constantly prove yourself to others or live up to societal standards. Once you break free from the need to fit into external molds, you can start to live authentically, making choices based on your inner truth rather than external pressures. Another key idea from Alan Watts is that self-discovery isn't about striving or forcing yourself into some ideal version of who you think you should be. Instead, it's about allowing yourself to be. It's about accepting that who you are, in this very moment, is already enough. When we stop striving to become something that we're not, we open ourselves up to the possibility of truly living. This isn't a passive acceptance, but rather a deep acknowledgement that the journey of self-discovery is about embracing your true essence without judgment. It's not about fixing yourself because you're not broken. Too often, we fall into the trap of believing that there's something fundamentally wrong with us, that we need to be different or better to be worthy. But what if the opposite were true? What if the process of self-discovery is actually about realizing that you are already whole and that your journey is not about improvement, but about returning to a state of being that's natural, peaceful, and true? This shift in perspective can bring an incredible sense of relief and freedom. You're not in a race to find yourself or to reach some perfect version of who you are. You're simply peeling back the layers to reveal the person you've always been underneath it all. Watts often spoke about the importance of letting go of the ego, that small part of ourselves that constantly seeks approval, validation, and significance. The ego thrives on comparison and judgment, keeping us trapped in a cycle of dissatisfaction. It makes us believe that we need to become something more, something different in order to be valuable. But Watts invites us to see through this illusion. The ego is not the real you. It's a construct, a collection of thoughts and beliefs about yourself that can distort your true nature. By letting go of the ego, we can tap into a deeper sense of self, one that is not driven by fear or insecurity, but by a sense of inner peace and completeness. When you start to let go of the ego's grip, you begin to realize that you don't need to change or become someone else to be worthy of love, happiness, or success. You begin to see that who you are, at your core, is already enough. This doesn't mean that you stop growing or learning. On the contrary, when you come from a place of self-acceptance, you're more open to growth because you're no longer driven by a sense of lack or inadequacy. Instead, your growth becomes a natural unfolding of your true potential, guided by your inner wisdom rather than external expectations. As you go deeper into this process of self-discovery, you may also find that your relationships with others begin to shift. When you stop trying to be someone you're not, you allow others to see the real you. This authenticity can create deeper, more meaningful connections because you're no longer hiding behind a facade. You're living in alignment with your true self, and this radiates out into the world. People are drawn to authenticity, and when you live in alignment with who you truly are, you give others permission to do the same. Alan Watts believed that self-discovery is not just a personal journey but a spiritual one. It's about reconnecting with the larger whole, understanding that you are not separate from the universe but an integral part of it. When you discover who you really are, you realize that you are connected to something much greater than yourself. This realization can bring a profound sense of peace and purpose as you begin to see your place in the grand scheme of life. In conclusion, Alan Watts' teachings remind us that the journey of self-discovery is not about becoming someone else. It's about shedding the illusions that have kept you from seeing who you truly are. It's about realizing that you are already whole, already complete, and that you don't need to chase after an idealized version of yourself to be worthy. The more you let go of the external labels and the need for approval, the more you'll discover the freedom that comes with living authentically. So if you've been feeling lost, if you've been wondering who you really are beneath the surface, take a moment to pause and reflect. Begin to question the roles you've been playing, the beliefs you've held about yourself, and ask yourself, who am I, really? And remember, this journey is not about finding something new, it's about returning to the person you've always been. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more life-changing content. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. How are you reconnecting with your true self? What steps are you taking on your own journey of self-discovery? Your experiences may inspire others on a similar path.